All right, good afternoon. This is the September 7th, 2022 session of the Zoning Hearing Examiner docket. My name is Kevin Tidd. I am the Zoning Hearing Examiner for the City of Cincinnati, and I'll preside over this hearing. The case before us today is case number ZH20220128. The property in question is 2881 Ziegle Avenue. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and opposing parties to testify to offer and refute evidence of testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the Zoning Hearing Examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any opposing party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant, the applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. The public will have an opportunity to speak after the applicant has presented its case. If there is more than one person opposing the application, this person should decide among themselves the length of time each will have to speak. If an opposition group is in attendance, I may request that a spokesperson be chosen to speak on behalf of the group. If the applicant is represented by an attorney, the applicant's attorney may cross-examine any person who has testified at the hearing. If a party of record is represented by an attorney, the attorney for the party of record may present witnesses after the applicant has presented its case and may cross-examine any person who has testified at the hearing. In the event that any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to an application, the applicant shall have an opportunity to rebut the testimony and or argument offered in opposition. After the applicant has been given an opportunity to rebut any testimony and or argument offered in opposition, any attorney for a party of record will have an opportunity to make a closing statement. Finally, the applicant will have an opportunity to make a closing statement. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. A decision may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application to be considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or make any comments. I may also refuse to consider hearsay testimony or documents. This means evidence you want to introduce that consists of a statement made by a person who is not present at this hearing or a document that includes a statement of the person who's at the hearing. In the event of any technical difficulties with the video conferencing technology, I may continue or postpone this hearing at my discretion. All persons by the testimony will be sworn in now. I think the easiest way to do it is just swear everybody in, whether you intend to speak or not. You solemnly swear the testimony you shall give with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, who do we have with us today? My understanding is you guys are together. It's the owner and the applicant, correct?
Yes. The owner of the house, Andrew Dye, my wife, Palmer.
Hello.
We're here together, and Troy from Vineyard Construction. They're our contractor for this potential deck.
Sure. Troy, what's your last name?
Vineyard, V-I-N-E.
Oh, it is Vineyard. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Came up Vineyard on the Zoom, but I wasn't sure if that was just like your company name.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
it's a company name, but I didn't have it came up with Troy company.
That happens a lot. Yep.
All right, so who's going to present during this hearing? Is it going to be Mr. Vineyard? I assume it is Mr. Vineyard.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, why don't you tell me a little bit about your project and why you're here today?
Okay, so we're building a deck above Andrew's rear garage, and it's a 20 by 16 deck. The rest of the backyard is essentially a driveway. So you go through the driveway on the side of the yard, go around the back to a garage. So essentially, they have no use of their outdoor living space in the back, in my opinion. I mean, there's really nothing, it's pavement. So what they really want to do is build a deck in order to come out through, a rear door that we're going to install onto the deck and be able to use that backyard in some sort of manner. Because as of now, it's just a driveway.
So, Mr. Vineyard, what you're planning on doing is building. You're going to put a door onto an entranceway onto that second level, and then the second level deck above the garage, right? So you go underneath the deck to go in the garage.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. And secondly, as well, there's a privacy fence that surrounds the entirety of the backyard and the sides. So up to that point, I think there's a bit of grass, but otherwise there's just no really usable space of a backyard. I know every yard's different, but generally speaking, there's no real use back there.
Is there an outdoor area there right now?
It's essentially concrete, the driveway basically. So yeah, I mean, it's a fairly tight space. It's a fairly small backyard. It's what I would call, in my personal opinion, I would deem a a deck yard.
So is it fair to say there's not enough room for an outdoor space right now?
Yes,
So are outdoor spaces common in this neighborhood, do you know?
Yes.
they seem to be a lot more than this specific yard. Yeah. And the ones I've worked on and the neighbors I've looked at in their area, certainly.
Yeah, so outdoor areas are pretty common in that immediate Hyde Park area, right?
Correct.
Do you think the project fits the character of the neighborhood?
100%. Yes.
Why?
It's very commonplace nowadays in general, let alone in Hyde Park, to have an outdoor living structure. A lot of families spend a lot more time together outdoors than they would inside. It adds a lot of value to the home, usually 100% ROI nowadays. In this specific neighborhood, it's a really upscale neighborhood, and it's even more common to have outdoor living setups of any type. So as of now, it's kind of a blank slate out there, and there's not much they could even do. Out front's kind of exposed. If they wanted to sit out front, it's really exposed. Very, very small little front stoop there. So yeah.
Is the east side setback what you're seeking relief for? Is that a conforming or not? Do you know if it's existing, conforming or non-conforming side yard setback?
Conforming or not?
The one thing that threw me off a little bit is the deck going to be just like a little bit outside the line of that, like the side of the house? Or is it just, or does it tighten right there? I thought it might tighten a lot. I couldn't really tell from the plan.
Yeah, it's definitely not going past the home, the deck. It's still within the home.
So it pretty closely matches up with the existing side yard setback.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll adversely affect any neighbor properties?
Well, I'm sorry.
Do you think the proposed deck, do you think it'll adversely affect any neighboring properties?
Not at all. No.
Why?
There's a privacy fence surrounding minimally 2 sides, maybe 3. I'd have to look again. And to be honest, one house next to them is a bit in disrepair. But so no, I don't see any negative effect at all. I think it'll beautify the neighborhood a bit.
Mr. Dye, have you heard from any of your neighbors about the project?
Well, we have effectively 3 neighbors. One is hoping to build a deck also, and they have little kids like us.
Smart to not oppose your deck then.
Pardon?
I said it's smart for them not to oppose your deck then.
Yes. The other neighbor, as Troy said, her house is a bit of disrepair, but we have a positive relationship with her. Yeah, it's friendly. And then the house behind us there's a very big backyard, so there's really nothing back there other than like shrubs and grass. And so while we do share a property line with them, their house is quite a bit away.
Is your house is it a renovated house or is it brand new?
We became the owners about a year ago. It's a totally renovated house. It was a duplex that merged into a single family, and it was kind of a spec redevelopment. And we bought it last August.
Do you know when? Oh, did you buy it from whoever flipped it?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. It turned out really nice. I wondered if it was a duplex before. I couldn't tell, so that's always a good sign.
Yeah, we I think the street, many of the houses on the street have a deck, and it's been a very positive neighborhood for our young family. And I think people are happy with the house having been renovated.
Sure. All right, well, I don't have any more questions for either one of you. Is there anything else you guys would like to say before I close out the hearing today?
Primary motivation, just to build on Troy's point, is to have an outdoor space for family. And that's why we're doing this. So we appreciate your time and review of this matter. And if you have any more questions, we're happy to answer them, but we're grateful for the review. and want to be good stewards in taking any next steps if approved.
All right, well, thank you both for coming in. A decision will be issued within 2 weeks.
Thank you, sir.
I'll close out the hearing now.
Okay.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Cassandra.